Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. Working in the world with all responsibilities and duties of life, man has to evolve to his divinehood, manifest his inner divinity, radiate the peace and joy wherever he goes, to reach that state of perfection in which man expresses divinity, remains divine, is what Sri Ramakrishna is aiming at, and has instructed us to develop love of God in any of the aspects, standard aspects of the bhakti schools. This has been the tradition from ancient times in this sacred land, to have relationship of some kind with the divine and evolve. Anything you want to climb to a particular height, a rope is hanging, you are holding on to rope and climbing to reach that ultimate goal. Like that we hold on to a particular relationship to reach God and become one with Him. The various bhavas we saw, Shanta, Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhura. In Madhura we were discussing Madhura. How in Shanta we attain the Atmanhood. In Dasya we eliminate ego. In Sakhya we awaken divinity. In Vatsalya, purity of the Atman is brought forward. And in Madhura, all these collective bhavas together transcend all limitations. So, this in limitation transcendence we saw Ashtapasha playing a major game in the beginning. Till the Ashtapashas go away, we will not be clearly, strongly hold on to the divine at all times. Something or the other will be holding us back. See, we discussed Lajja, our inability to sing before a few people. Though we know singing, whatever we know, however we know, we care for the world and not for God. Similarly, Krina, Bhaya, Shanka, all this, one or the other comes. When we are loving God and holding on to God with great faith, love and hopes, then suddenly some calamity comes and we start losing faith in God. We are not, something is coming in between to maintain that relationship. And whether it is a test or a training, we don't mind. We immediately discussed it with God Himself. We want God should not interfere with our worldly life, and God must be in my possession also. Some kind of life that I don't want to leave the world. And here you see, once you establish the relationship with God, you will see things are going on as they would have gone even otherwise. Suppose you are dedicated totally for the worldly life also, life would have gone away. And in the same way, it will go away because your worldly life in the world or secular life is always governed, whatever your status be a sannyasi, be a spiritual aspirant, be a householder, whatever you are, whatever station of life you are, the spiritual life is independent of the secular life, and secular life is totally governed by your past karmas and vasanas. It cannot be eliminated. You cannot avoid it. Nature's drives also, kama, krodhadi, independent of your sadhana, they'll be working. Slowly, you will evolve and go beyond. They will not leave you. You have to go beyond. They have a region, they have a jurisdiction. They cannot go beyond, but you can go beyond, where they do not have any effect on you. So each struggle in life is to transcend everything, nature, entire nature, and go beyond. And let the body and mind be working in the world, experiencing the joys and sorrows of life as was the fruit of the action, is inevitable karma. And sukha dukkha, according to the prarabdha, is going to come, and you have to face that. And it will not affect you, who has known himself not to be this body. So slowly, just like when you are asleep, anything happening to the body, anything happening to you, you don't feel out. So experience also. So much of pain in the ankle or knee, the moment you sleep, you are dissociated. You don't feel the pain at all. You have an existence independent of that. So we relate, we identify with the bodily existence and start experiencing sukha dukkha. We can remain independent of that also if we are little aware and separate ourselves. So in going towards God, all that is holding us, we will have to leave and let the nature take care of everything. Who is taking care of from the birth, from even before birth. It was she who was bringing me up. She is taking care now also, of realization also, till the body falls off. Nature takes care of it. Everything will go on in the same way, whether you dedicate to your spiritual life or not. So you need not worry, oh, what will happen to me? If you keep going towards God, you are going beyond. All things will remain as it is. So now what is going to happen is you are becoming everything, just like when the fruit comes, the flowers dries up and falls off. All these lajja, grana, bhay, shanka, jugupsa, kula, jati, shila, and all these will not work upon you because their purpose is over. They will not have any more effect upon you. So we saw how shanka, jugupsa, or lajja, grana, bhaya, all these factors we saw, we come to kula. Kula and jati, almost it looks like when you translate into English, it becomes a little difficult to distinguish. What is kula and jati? How do you translate? The kula is family traditions, lineage, and qualities. What Sri Krishna considers in Bhagavad Gita as guna karma vibhagayoho. How the jatis are formed, guna karma vibhagayoho. That guna and kula is now coming in the family tradition. And it is called lineage. In lineage, now your how you live, what are the family traditions? Family traditions. I get up in the morning, I do worship, all this. It is not related to your profession or by birth, but your family traditions, lineage, qualities, your qualities which is flowing through your generation. The kula, literally translated as clan. Clan, kula. One clan. Now, this kula has got some root somewhere. We have a root. Now, we usually refer to gotra. That gotra, I belong to certain Rishi Gotra, that is Vishwamitra Gotra, Srivatsa Gotra. All these are various Gotras. From there it begins. There may be Kshatriyas, Kula coming down, and there may be, it is not profession wise, it is the family tradition in which they are flowing. Yadava Kula. I belong to Yadava Kula. I belong to Surya Kula. Chandra Kula of Krishna. Surya Kula of Rama. Surya Vamsha. That Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha. These are lineage, Kula. I will be aware and have, in West it is mostly kingship. I belong to Victoria family, I belong to this family, that family. That it is family oriented. The tradition which is coming from ancient times, they belong to that, they move in that direction. So we will have attachment, awareness, and that a kind of you cannot just say pride, but something like that, awareness, in awareness. Of course, many times it protects, many times it limits, many times it makes you disappointed. If you belong to a lower class of family, and another belong to higher class of family, there we feel, means our family traditions, that way it may be good or bad, but holding on to anything, whether as good or bad, as neutral also, it is holding on to something of this world. You can't stretch to God. The Sri Ramakrishna used to say, the devotees of God belong to a family by themselves. So you have sufficient gap between being aware of yourself. I belong to God, I am child of God. I have to dissociate from all other things. Just like in India, after the marriage, the girl goes to her husband's house. She enters a new kula. She is supposed to, and she will totally forget her past kula. She gets new associated with new kula, new traditions, new she has to pick up. So this can be associated with guna karma vibhaga. Sri Krishna says, the four Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra were formed according to their guna and karma. What are their qualities? They are very strong in body, then they can do any work. Yeah, but they don't have much intelligence to work, but physically they are very strong and doing. They are Kshatriyas, the most Shudras. They are most valuable things in the world. Without labor, nothing happens. That is why it is considered to be the feet of the Lord. The movement is possible in the world. Otherwise, everything will become stagnant. If labor is not there, no activity will be there. There will be even food to eat, we may not get. The world moves, the society moves, the humanity moves because of the labor class. So they are given the highest value in the Gunakarma Vibhaga. Then of course later on it got converted into Jati. That's why Kula is one thing, Jati is one thing. Jati is according to birth and profession. This is social denomination. There it is not social denomination. It is a lineage from which it is flowing down. Rainwater in ponds, in reservoirs, and huge storage of water is different from constantly flowing rivers from higher. Now the Ganga, Yamuna, and all these are flowing from the higher levels to the lower. Pure water that is on the Himalayas is flowing down. It is like a lineage following. Rainwater comes, it gets stored in all wells will fill up, and perhaps most of the wells will give water throughout the year. There are streams and canals, there will be huge storage, tanks will be there, sarovara will be there, lakes, and all these are like jati, they have certain denomination. Well means you immediately understand what is well. When we say lake, when we say tank, they are denomination like that, but constantly from ancient time it is flowing. It's called lineage. So Kula belongs to lineage. The awareness of I belong to a lineage keeps me at a distance from God, because I separate myself from the whole rest of the universe. God is there everywhere, everything. And when all humans are equal and Lord is present in all humans equally, I say this I belong to this group. What does it mean, you see? God is there in everyone. Absolute equanimity from that side when we see. When we see from human side, this group is like this group is like that. I belong to this group. That group, I am separating as if I am cutting God into two parts and holding on to one part of the God. If I have developed relationship with, I cannot experience God anymore. I limit myself. So this Kula and Jati is social denomination. That is kinship by birth and profession. Formerly the cobblers were there, the scavengers were there. These are all social denominations. The lower class, higher class, Brahminical class, Kshatriyas, these are all jati. And within that there are so many denominations in each of the lower, higher. Here the higher and lower by birth come into picture in jati. And holding on to this, we lose the presence of God. I have to lose the presence of God if I divide. If I feel the presence of God, I will have to have the equanimity. Because God is manifest there as humans. God is present in the humans as the Antaryamin. What is the difference between one human and another human? So if I cling to anything, Jati or Kula, I will not be able to hold on to God. I leave God and hold on to something. So as sincerely you are holding on to God, these fall away from your awareness. When you see mine, when it is dissolved, God alone. And you see everyone is mine. Everyone is not mine. If you hold on to God. Otherwise, this alone mine, not this becomes. Then I am away from God. Then the last one, Lajja, Grina, Bhay, Shanka, Jugupsa, Kula, Jati, and Shila. Shila is good conduct. Shila. I am living a good life, honest life, moral life. These are all noble life, feeling compassion for others. All these come under Shila. Now, Shila is good conduct, noble character. These when we take into consideration, and it is good to have that, but not be aware of it and feel proud of it. When the pride and superiority complex comes, I am good, then the problem comes. Immediately, pride comes before a fall. So, the awareness, who is here to tell me? Suddenly we say, anybody telling or insulting me, immediately I get irritated because I'm holding on to that Sheila. I am good. I am good conduct. I have good conduct. I have moral goodness. I have duties to perform, but not hold on to a thing which belongs to the passing events of life, temporal world. I hold on to. Sheila is what happens to Sheila when I become old. When I become helpless, I am not able to walk also. Where is your Sheila? Is going to help you. God alone is eternal. Alone is real. All this, anything unreal, anything which is appearing, disappearing, anything which is temporary, holding on to it has no meaning. And you will be holding on to invariably till you become aware of God. When your grip loosens, when you develop the sambandha, it falls off from your awareness. The Sheila, I am good and bad, goes away. I am child of God. I am related to God. God has accepted me. I belong to God. That alone remains. So, conduct, noble character, that is Sheila, limits me and makes me hold on to the world and becomes an obstruction in my path. So, these are called pashas. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, pasha. Pasha is what binds jiva. पाश बद्ध होले जीव, पाश मुक्त होले शिव. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, पाश बद्ध होले. If a person binds himself with a shackle, then he is jiva. Pash mukt hole shiv. If he is released from the bondage means shackles with which he has bound himself. If he releases, he is mukta. So here we see he is mukta from all the holdings of the world for which were caused by himself, his own understanding, his own experiences of life, not on the basis of realities told by scriptures, realities expressed by the realized souls. If we are holding on to that, it is all right. We hold on to our own past experiences, our own understanding. How much can we understand? Our own. So when we release ourselves from all the shackles that we have created ourselves, we are free from the world. Now, bandhana is there, janma mrityu is there, Kala Chakra is working, and I am under the Kala Chakra karma. I have to, still the bond of karma is working on me, but I am free from the shackles with which I have bound myself. And this makes me a capability to get dissolved in God. The capability, I am capable of dissolving. I am stone with all these Lajja, Grana, Bhaya, Shanka, Jugupsa, Kula, Jati, Shila, Ahankara, and Raga, Dvesha. All this has made me a stone that I cannot dissolve in the love of God. I cannot dissolve in the Jnana Sagara, Bhakti Sagara, Prema Sagara, in the ocean of bliss, in the ocean of love, in the ocean of wisdom. I cannot get dissolved because I become stone because of the presence of all this. Now I become a sugar ball. When all this go away, I become a sugar ball that immediately dissolves in water. Like that, I start dissolving in God. I might not have touched water. I might not have fallen in water. But sugar kept anywhere has always the capability to dissolve itself. The capability. When these Ashtapashas fall away, by your, I want to become one with you, Lord. I don't want to have separateness from you. I want to become one with you. This is Madhura Bhava. I cannot remain separate from you. To not to become separate from, remain separate from you and dissolve in you, anything that doesn't dissolve in God has to be eliminated. And that, when the Ashtapashas goes, you get the capacity, you get the capability of getting dissolved in God. So now the real Madhura Bhava starts working. That you are hearing God stage by stage, step by step. Your awareness and consciousness is there. With the fall of Ashtapasha, gaining the capability to dissolve in God, your divinity is almost at the peak of its manifestation. And your bodily awareness comes to zero. Because it is connected with the world, body, mind, all these moods, all these belong to the world. Only love, pure awareness, jnana of God, who is free from all limitations. God, as I get purified through Madhura Bhava, all the limitations that I was seeing in God starts dissolving. All my limitations within me starts dissolving. And I see I am trying to become one with God, like a drop longing to dissolve in the ocean and become one with it. This is the Madhura Bhava. So Sri Ramakrishna says, hold on to any one of these and you reach. So here finally he says, when one sees God, M is asking. Sri Ramakrishna explains all this. And then finally M, the author of the book, M. When one sees God, does one see Him with these eyes? What happens when you develop relationship? From the relationship, you develop intimacy. God becomes intimate to you, whether it is Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, whatever bhava you are taken, or Madhura, you start that dissolving, separating from all things. And when one sees God, M is asking, what will, through this, you develop intimacy. Holding on to, from Parichaya, you are going to Sambandha, Sambandha to Atmiyata. God becomes your intimate, your deep, that is related to you in a very deeper layers of your existence. The intimacy, as the intimacy grows, God manifests before you. The manifestation, because you are in the dissolving state, you have come to the absolute perfect state of a jiva, perfected state, and God has to reveal Himself. And then the jiva sees God. Then M is asking him, when one sees God, does one see him with these eyes? We'll continue. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.